Shalom. First off, give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Karkadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, other brothers across the four corners who are learning truth and sincerity in the women and the children who follow. So as you can see, we're going over this piece that came out today, done by 60 Minutes, about Navy pilots who have encountered the Chariots. There's been a lot of information recently that was redacted and made public. So this proves that we're not crazy, number one, and number two, that these chariots are real. And if these chariots are here for us. There ain't no if they're not here for us, then what are they? They are here for us. Okay? Said the earth helped the woman. This is part of the earth helping the woman, man. So I'm not gonna play the video. I don't want to get a strike on the channel, but I'm gonna have these still pictures and we'll play the video in the background and I'll get some precepts.
We have tackled many strange stories on 60 Minutes, but perhaps none like this. It's the story of the U.S. government's grudging acknowledgement of unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, more commonly known as UFOs. After decades of public denial, the Pentagon now admits there's something out there, and the U.S. Senate wants to know what it is. The Intelligence Committee has ordered the Director of National Intelligence and the Secretary of Defense to deliver a report on the mysterious sightings by next month.
The story will continue in a moment.
So what you're telling me is that UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real?
Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
Luis Elizondo spent 20 years running military intelligence operations worldwide in Afghanistan, the Middle East, and Guantanamo. He hadn't given UFOs a second thought until 2008. That's when he was asked to join something at the Pentagon called the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ATIP.
The mission of ATIP was quite simple. It was to collect and analyze information involving anomalous aerial vehicles. What I guess in the vernacular you call them UFOs. We call them UAPs.
You know how this sounds. It sounds nutty, wacky.
Look, Bill, I'm...
And that's what I just said. He said it sounds nutty, it sounds wacky. So how do you think we come off to these people when we tell them that they're not UFOs, that they're IFOs, that they're identifiable flying objects, and that they're the chariots of the Most High? That's how we come off. But now you have confirmed Navy pilots saying, hey, man, I used to see him every day. And you're going to have a guy say that. Okay? They're confirming, the U.S. government is confirming that there's something out there. And we've seen something that's out there. There's been many accounts of brothers who have seen the chariots. Some up close, some further away. And it's a faith booster is what it is, to see it yourself. And then to have something like this go on where they confirm it for you. Okay, this should boost your faith. And know that we're almost out of this place, man. Matter of fact, let me get a precept real quick. This is Zechariah 5. I'm starting at verse 1. It says, Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And he answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. So what he's saying, he said, man, what do you see? He said, I see a flying roll. A roll like a dinner roll. Okay? And it was flying. there was the technology that we have today was not back then. Okay, this is from the BC era, before Christ, or before the Common Era. The Wright brothers, the Wright brothers hadn't made planes yet, Joe. So what was flying? What was the flying object that was seen? Slakia. So what was the flying object that was seen? It was a chariot. He said. Then he said unto me, "This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth." Okay, and that's the curse that's going to come to America. That's going to destroy America. It says, "For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off on that side according to it." All right. So this is what's going to destroy America. This is what's going to be the eventual downfall of America and our salvation. That concentrated heat, that concentrated lasers. Okay. Let's get back to the video.
I'm not telling you that it doesn't sound wacky. What I'm telling you is real. The question is, what is it? What are its intentions? What are its capabilities?
Buried away in the Pentagon, ATIP was part of a $22 million program sponsored by then Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid to investigate UFOs. When Elizondo took over in 2010, he focused on the national security implications of unidentified aerial phenomena documented by U.S. service members.
Imagine a technology that can do 600 to 700 G-forces, that can fly at 13,000 miles an hour, that it can evade radar, and that can fly through air and water and possibly space. And oh, by the way, has no obvious signs of propulsion, no wings, no control surfaces, and yet still can defy the natural effects of Earth's gravity.
That's a chariot. That's the only explanation for it. It do what it wants. Matter of fact, this is Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 16. It says, "The appearance of the wheels and their work." Slakia, hold on, let me see. I'm starting at verse 4. It says, "And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding in itself, and a brightness was about it, out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, and out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of four creatures, and this was the appearance that they had the likeness of men, and every one had four faces, every one had four wings, and their feet were straight feet, and their sole was and the sole of their feet was the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man under the wings on their four sides, and they four had their faces and their wings." I'm trying to get to one specific point, though. "The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl, which is green, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel, and they went there, and they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went." Now, that's the part that I wanted right there. It says, "and they turned not where they went." Or they went and they turned not where they went. Because they don't have to turn like we turn. If a jet fighter turns, you know how it has to, Like it has to literally do a half circle in order to turn around. You know, the Chariots don't have to do that. They can go in a straight line and then go diagonal, then go up, then go diagonal or left or right, or it doesn't have to turn. So let me back it up what he said.
600 to 700 G-forces that can fly at 13,000 miles an hour, that it can evade radar, and that can fly through air and water and possibly space. And oh, by the way, has no obvious signs of propulsion, no wings, no control surfaces, and yet still can defy the natural effects of Earth's gravity. That's precisely what we're seeing.
Elizondo tells us ATIP was a loose-knit mix of scientists, electro-optical engineers, avionics and intelligence experts, often working part-time. They combed through data and records and analyzed videos like this.
I'm gonna kind of jump ahead because I want to get a couple of certain points, and I'm gonna link the video in the description so you can check it out.
And that's when it becomes problematic.
Former Navy pilot Lieutenant Ryan Graves calls whatever is out there a security risk. He told us his F-18 squadron began seeing UAPs hovering over restricted airspace southeast of Virginia Beach in 2014 when they updated their jet's radar, making it possible to zero in with infrared targeting cameras. So you're seeing it both with the radar and with the infrared, and that tells you that there is something out there.
Pretty hard to spoof that.
These photographs were taken in 2019 in the same area. The Pentagon confirms these are images of objects it can't identify. Lieutenant Graves told us pilots training off the Atlantic coast see things like that all the time.
Every day. Every day for at least a couple of years.
Wait a minute, every day for a couple of years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see an exhaust.
Including this one, off the coast of Jacksonville, Florida in 2015, captured on a targeting camera by members of Graves' squadron.
There's a thing. It's rotating. My gosh. No, we're going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
You can sort of hear the surprise in their voices.
You certainly can. They seem to have broke character a bit. And we're just kind of amazed at what they were seeing.
What do you think when you see something like this?
This is a difficult one to explain. You have rotation, you have high altitudes, you have propulsion, right? I don't know what it is, frankly.
He told us pilots speculate they are one of three things: secret U.S. technology, an adversary spy vehicle, or something otherworldly.
I would say.
And, you know, this coming from a pilot, he does this for a living. He does this every day. Okay? That's why it says in 2nd Ezra's, matter of fact, let's just get that. We're going to close it on that. And try to get. Alright, yeah, we're just going to get it from verse 3. 2nd Ezra 13 and 3, it says, "And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered a multitude of men out of the number from the four winds of the heavens to subdue the men that came out of heaven." And that's going to be those Navy pilots. That's going to be those Air Force pilots who go to fight against the Chariots. Okay? It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graded himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not, And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. So he has no clue what it is right now. Think about when it's action time. He's gonna be scared shitless. Because they're not telling him that the US government knows. And they've been known who it is and what they're dealing with, but they're not gonna tell them that you're gonna be fighting against Yahweh Shem Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus and his angels. They're not going to tell them that. Because who's going to willingly fight against God? But they're going to let them think that it's alien grays or whatever it is they feel it is, another society or it's an invasion from another planet to take over this world and we have to defend our planet. Blah, 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 blah. But it says, verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burnt them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid. So this is an account of a chariot, the fathership chariot, destroying a innumerable amount of fighter jets. The ones that were prepared to fight against them. So this is why, they're scared shitless. This is why we are vindicated. This is why our spirits are up. Because, man, this means we're close. We're almost out of here. So with that being said, I hope you were edified. Like I said, if you want to watch the whole video, it's a beautiful video to watch. They have a lot of different, we only got, a couple minutes into it. It's a 13-minute video. And, man, I'm going to definitely link it in the description. With that being said, we give all praises, honor, and glory. That's called law unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kadash, the bonds to the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are during the truth and sincerity in the women, the children who follow. Shalom.